Tomorrow's Daily Mail and big news from the world of competitive swimming, Leo. Ray mentioned this in the bulletin. I think it's a big story. It feels like a moment to me.
Yeah, certainly in the culture wars, if we want to call it that. So the International Sports Federation for Swimming is setting up an open category in swimming which will separate transgender athletes to compete in a class of their own. And they're going to pretty much completely forbid transgender athletes from women's swimming if they went through male puberty. So this means that if you transitioned after the age of 12, you don't get to compete in women's swimming. We've seen, Leah Thomas and other high-profile cases. And going through male puberty does convey certain advantages to an athlete. You get denser bones, a larger bone structure, bigger muscles. It's easier to parallel park outside the stadium. So there's various advantages conveyed. So they want to balance that out and make it fair for everyone.
Yeah, well, I think that's right. I agree with your assessment about the parking. Ed, I'm going to say I couldn't be more pro-trans. I'm evangelical about somebody that feels they're in the wrong body.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's no different to being gay. It's not a life choice. It's who you are.
Yeah.
And I've got friends that have taken that journey. And like coming out, it should be a cause for celebration, really. Not an easy thing to do, but joyous. But I would suggest after the age of 18, and I would suggest that it doesn't involve men who identify as females beating women in a swimming pool.
It's difficult. There isn't a right answer.
See, people say that. I mean, Keir Starmer says it's difficult.
All I'm saying is there's no right answers here.
Well, I know, and I agree. Look, I agree that no one's got a monopoly on wisdom or the truth. But, I mean, this is where Labour have got in trouble by saying, well, you've asked me what is the definition of a woman. That's a hard question to answer. Lots of people watching this show will go, no, it's bloody easy, actually. I learnt it during GCSE biology. And isn't sport, isn't that the sort of the red line for a lot of people?
That's very much the argument that Sharon, what was that?
Davies.
Sharon Davies has gone by. She's essentially saying it is a biological. Ultimately, if somebody has gone through puberty, they have an unfair advantage physically, and as such, are better swimmers in a competition. I think it's very difficult. There are two things. Something's, sport has got to be fair, but it's also got to be open to all. And how many people are going to go into the intermediate category? I mean,
Well, not that many. I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed to come in first. It's not going to be a big category, but it means that women.
Do you mean, would this be the trans woman category?
Yeah.
But that is the answer, isn't it, Leo?
I think the problem is having the self ID and having people who've gone through male puberty competing. It does give them advantages, and we've seen that. I mean, it might not be a huge number of incidents, but we've seen it happening, and it's not particularly fair. The one thing I'd say is, so this sort of provides an incentive to transition children earlier. So if you transition before the age of 12 and avoid male puberty, so it actually...
Kind of what they did with Michael Jackson, wasn't it?
Well, this actually encourages, which I think is dangerous. This encourages the sort of Tavistock approach of puberty blockers and then delaying puberty and then transitioning children. When if you actually leave it, in most cases, the majority of cases, puberty resolves the issue. And then obviously you still get some people who go forward and transition. And it's absolutely fantastic they can live their lives and want to live their lives without discrimination. But I mean, some lines have to be drawn somewhere, and I'd say women's sport is certainly one line where just looking at the podiums when you see trans women looming over competitors, there's an obvious discrepancy there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm a big fan of early interventions. My parents stopped me becoming a man when I was 13, and I think it turned out just fine. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.